Hi everybody, I'm Amy from the Cauldron, and in today's episode of Dye Time I'm going to be dyeing in this empty plastic bottle. Now I've got here 100 grams of Donegal yarn in DK, which is 87% wool, 13% Donegal viscose. So I'm going to use 3 different acid dyes today. I have chosen at random Purple Pop, Monarch Orange and Sour Apple. I've got my mask on, I've got my gloves on, and I'm going to start with Sour Apple, I think. So I've put a little bit of the yarn in there. I've got these dedicated for dye teaspoons. I'm just going to pour a little bit of Sour Apple down in there. Tell you what, this is so much easier in just a normal bottle. Why am I doing it this way? Because I am a sucker for punishment. I do something a bit different and it makes life a whole lot more tricky for myself. Oh well. So that's the Sour Apple. I'm going to put a little bit more in and go for the, what one should I go with next? I'll go with Purple Pop. Okay, I've got a fresh teaspoon for Purple Pop. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in there. This yarn has been soaking in water and vinegar for a couple of hours. Don't really need to have it soaking for a couple of hours, 20-30 minutes will be enough, but sometimes I find it easier to just get everything sorted, get everything soaking first, and then I can get everything else ready. So that's the Purple Pop, and that teaspoon, and lastly Monarch Orange. Just sprinkle this just over the top there. Put a healthy amount in. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe the teaspoon off in there. Now I'm going to fill this with ice. This is another way. This is a way for the adding the ice will dissolve. It will melt and it will just drip all the way through, hopefully dissolving the dye and creating a nice dye pattern. Okay, I'm not going to squish it down, but I am going to keep an eye on it, and I've got lots of ice. I'm just going to keep adding ice until I think there's enough. I'd quite like there to be, once it's all melted, for all the yarn to be covered in water. That would be a good, I think that's my aim. So I'm just going to keep adding ice over the course of the day. Yeah, I don't have the sun to melt the ice for me this time. It's January, it's very cold outside. So I'm just going to move this to somewhere, and I'm just going to move it somewhere out of the way and just keep an eye on it. It's been about 24 hours now, and as you can see, all the ice has melted. I have topped up the ice a little bit just to make sure that there was enough water to cover all the yarn. Now, if this was in the middle of summer, I would just leave this in a nice warm spot for a couple of days and let the heat from the sun set the dye to the yarn. But we're in the middle of winter and it's cold, so I'm going to steam set this. I'm just going to pour all that out into there. See if I can squeeze some of this water out. Dye everywhere. This is a gorgeous sort of cherry colour. I should be wearing gloves, but my last pair ripped as I was trying to put them on, so I am going to have dyed hands after this. There we go. You can see how pretty that yarn is. I'm going to put this in my steamer basket. Right. Cover it up, let it get nice and steamy, and I'll leave that to set for probably about 30 to 40 minutes. I am not going to let this beautiful dye go to waste. I'm going to go grab another skein of yarn and make another video out of this, so keep your eyes open. This video will be out soon. Okay, this has been on the heat for about 45 minutes. Nice and steamy. Ooh, look at that. See, there's possibly a hint of colour running off this yarn, so, but I'm not too concerned about that. I'm just going to cover it up, turn the heat off, and just let this cool down completely before we wash it. This has completely cooled down, and right, there we go. I'm just going to add one of my zip ties onto this just to help me just to wash. Now this is non-super wash, so where's my plug? I'm going to be quite gentle with this, try not to agitate it too much, but I'm hoping there won't be any colour bleeding, or at least very little colour bleeding. Yeah, see, the orange certainly took over this. Can't really see that sour apple. It sort of looks a bit muddy down the bottom. I'm guessing the sour apple and the monarch orange sort of mixed together. And there are some little pops of purple around, but it's mainly a lovely sort of orange yarn. We'll see what it's like when it's dry. But I'm going to carefully move this. This a little bit. You can see there's nothing running off this. Fantastic. So I'm just going to gently rinse this through a couple of times, then I can hang it up to dry. And here is the finished yarn. You can still see the three colours that I put in here. So we've got sort of the sour apple at the bottom. This has blended quite a lot with the purple, so it's not quite as bright as it is on its own. And then we've got, coming along, we've got the purple pop, which does break into purples and pinks, so we've got that as well. And then coming along, we've got the lovely bright monarch orange at the end as well, and all the way through still got these pops of colour, which is part of the yarn. They don't dye, so I think that works well. The colours have muddied together a little bit, but I think it works quite well because it's all quite a muted yarn. It's not particularly bright. I just think looks really nice together. This bit I think is great, and that's just the blend of the green and the purple. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do please click like and subscribe to my channel. I aim to produce a new dyeing tutorial every Monday, and it's usually uploaded between about 6 and 8 PM UK time. And I like to experiment with different dyes and techniques and fibre types and all sorts, so there'll always be something different to watch. Thank you so much for watching.